Do you chat with Ben Olsen and say about what he's thinking in terms of playing time, or you guys talk about?
I'm sure. I mean, all the coaches have probably said something to him. I mean, I think our situation is a little bit different because we have an Open Cup final and because we have a CONCACAF game in there as well. So I don't think anybody. I haven't looked at everybody's league schedule. Some guys might have some Wednesday league games, but I doubt anybody's got 5 games in 15 days. I mean, 5 counting games, not count. I don't count an exhibition game or something like that because you can rest players in that game or whatever. But we have 5 counting games in 15 days. So I know they added a player onto the roster today. They added Farfan, so he's also a midfielder, so it makes it maybe easier to push around the midfielders.
Is it nice to have a little bit of time between games? You don't get it often.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to train. I mean, it was nice yesterday. We were able to train, and we were able to work a little bit on something today. Having tournament day is always a day the players enjoy because it's just random teams and it's a competition, but it's also good for them working on their transition and so forth. Got a little bit of crossing in at the end, and do a little bit of weights this afternoon, take tomorrow off, and then come back at it on Thursday, play a little bit of 11v11 and see how it's shaping up.
You always say it's important how the guys respond after a full day. Maybe how did the 4 guys, Schmid and the like, get through today?
Fine, fine. Kasky came through fine. He scored some really good goals in the short-sided game. For Schmid, it was good. He's not feeling anything, and it's just now getting the rust off more than anything. So today was very good because he faced a lot of shots for him. Cato, was fine. He got through all the practice today as well. And Evans was fine. So it was good.
You see Saudade and Estrada maybe doing slowly more and more, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Estrada's going to come back before Saudade. I mean, I know the Galaxy's got, Omar Gonzalez out there, and everybody gets through it at a different pace, but, he's now, I think he had a surgery early April or something like that. So that's May, June, July. He's 4 months out. I mean, sometimes you really push. Guy can get back at 6 or 7, but that's really pushing it. And sometimes you have setbacks if you push too hard. So, we're taking it at a pace. He's making good strides, running with the guys today. So that was good.
We talked about guys going on loan a little bit with Duran and Steve. What has been like the situation with maybe Seaman or Tedde, who haven't been seen a lot of time, and maybe a loan could help them out?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the loan arrangements are, for some of the teams it's easier because, if you're Philly and you're loaning a guy to Harrisburg, it's an hour drive up the highway and, he plays a game and he comes back, so he trains with you and goes plays a game there. For us, loaning a player is a little more of a difficult situation because he's actually got to go there. And so some of the teams, we'd love to loan him, but can you pay for his airfare? Can you pay for his hotel? Can you pay for, his meals and his family coming here, and it just doesn't work out sometimes. So, but obviously those guys getting games is important, and we're always looking for places and opportunities that they can maybe get a game or two, but it just hasn't worked out.
Coach, I'm Jeffrey from the Oregon.
Yeah.
Just looking at a story about Freddie Montero and how you feel like he's been playing up to this point with his performance.
Yeah, I mean, Freddie's a player who's, he's always been a goal scorer who's a little bit streaky, and I think he's started off on a slow streak. He caught himself a better streak. I think he's, the 2 goals against Chelsea are good for him, help his confidence, and as he moves forward, he plays a lot of minutes for us. He's a very resilient player. He's got, I think, 5 goals right now. We've got 14 games left, so I don't see why he shouldn't end up again somewhere between 10 and 12 goals, as he ended up in the last couple of seasons. So at the end of the day, it's really not going to be much different, and that's what he's been. He's been very consistent in terms of what he produces for us year to year.
Are you surprised that with the consistency that you're talking about, Coach, that he hasn't been named to the AllStar team?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously there's the fan voting, and so that's the fans voting, and it's great that they have an opportunity to pick all-stars. And then at the end, it comes down to the coach, Benny Olsen, picking the players that he wanted. And so a lot of times maybe more forwards get into the final mix, and so, you know, he added a forward, I think, as well. But you know, it's his choice at the end. So I mean, I think there's guys like Freddy, you know, probably deserved a look at the All-Stars. You know, I mean, obviously Schmid, if healthy, would have deserved a look with the All-Stars as well. You know, our center backs, you know, have done all right. You know, Park, because he probably faced the least amount of injuries. But I think there's other guys that probably deserve to look. But for sure, Freddy is a guy who's been an All-Star before, and I think every year is capable of being on the All-Star team.
Do you feel like that where do you feel like his maturity is at his age and his experience? Is he where you'd like him to be in terms of his on-field, off-field, as growing as a MLS player?
No, he's definitely grown. I mean, you know, he's grown because he's older. He's matured a lot. I mean, he carries a lot of responsibility. You know, his family's here as well, and he's the one who's really responsible for them. You know, I can't think of a lot of 23, 24-year-olds that are responsible for their entire family. So you got to have a certain maturity level to deal with that. You know, he realizes there's pressure on him when he steps on the field and plays, and he responds to that pressure. So again, that shows maturity. I think he's adjusted to the physical nature of the league. You know, he's improved his speed of play. He's gotten stronger on the ball. You know, there's a lot of things that he's added to his game since he's been here, which he's grown. You know, because he's seen this is what I need to do to get better.
But there have been still times that you've brought him off the bench in terms of, is that part of the maturity process that he has to be more consistent? And is that the reason behind that?
It's like, you know, every player sometimes, you know, sometimes it's good to look at it from the outside. In Freddy's case, he's second on the team in minutes played for the whole season, starting with the Santos series at the beginning of the year. So the time he spent on the bench has been minimal, you know. So it's I think Alonso has the most minutes played, and I think Freddy has the second most minutes played. So everybody needs to sometimes sit down and watch. You know, I think that's good. Sometimes it's for a little bit of a rest. Sometimes it's just to get a little bit of a different perspective. But you know, it's not. You know, people always want to look at it as, oh, he's being punished or something like that. That's not the case at all.
Thanks.
What can the All-Star game do for Eddie, for Ozzy? Just guys getting a chance to play against Chelsea twice in a matter of 8 games.
Well, you know, I mean, obviously it's good exposure for them. You know, for Ozzy, it's great, you know, being the first time officially being on the team and being able to play in the game. He's a guy who deserves it. I think that's important. And, you know, so from that standpoint, it's good. For Eddie, it's a matter of, you know, he wanted to come back to this league. He wanted to resurrect his career, show that he could still play soccer and play soccer at a good, high level. And obviously he's shown that in the first half of the season.
4 days left with the transfer window open. Do you see anything happening in those 4 days?
We're always looking. We're always seeing what's out there. So it's a fluid situation. You know, changes by the day, sometimes by the hour, sometimes by the minute. So you know, we're always looking to see if we can improve our team, but we want to make moves that make sense. You know, that help our team. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out. You know, so you look at some of the moves teams have been able to make, and obviously part of it's based upon connections or people having an interest in playing in a certain city or something like that, and that allows them to make those moves. And so we're looking at things, but we try not to talk about it until we get to a point where we're ready to announce it.
If this team doesn't make a move in the transfer window, are you confident it can still achieve everything it wants to?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think when you look at teams who've won the championship, it's teams that are together, are motivated, and are committed at the end of the year, and are in a good run, and you have a little bit of good fortune where it bounces your way. But you know, so you look at that. I mean, you know, again, you go back. I mean, just a few years, Salt Lake barely made it into the playoffs and then won the championship. You know, Colorado, same thing, and won the championship. LA was a very motivated, very committed team last year because of their senior players really wanting to get after it and to win it. So, you know, and so guys sacrificed and put the work in, and adding Robbie Keane helped them for sure. But I think it was the commitment of the entire team that really pushed them through that final phase. And so I think we have the people here that we can do it. It's just a matter of making sure that we We raise our level of play in the playoffs, which, with the exception of, I think, Game 2 against Salt Lake last year, was something that we were struggling trying to do. But we've shown we can raise the level of play in important games through the U.S. Open Cup and winning championships and advancing in semifinals. So we got to take that championship mentality that we've had in the Open Cup and carry that into the MLS Cup.
Give your full 90 with the Sounders FC mobile app, featuring live audio, matchday blog and much more to keep you connected. Download your app at soundersfc.com/mobile.